What's up everybody? My name is Caroline Dare. Sup? Today's video is going to be a really interesting one. I really love this type of stuff. Earlier this year I released a single called Heart Problem. It is a song that I wrote. I got great response from it. Honestly, like from the time that I first started playing it out, like that was the one song that like people would come up to me afterwards and just like point it out. I feel like Heart Problem is one song of mine that just stands out and I wanted to make a little video about it. So in this video I'm gonna go like as far into depth as I can about the song and like my writing process, my influences, the story behind it, and then also going into like the production process as well. Okay, so I've tried to organize this video like as best as I can. I'm gonna start off with the very beginning stages. Let's talk about the story behind the song. I wrote Heart Problem on April 11th, 2020. So it was like right smack dab in the beginning of quarantine. During this time of quarantine, literally the only places that you could go would either be outside on a walk or to the grocery store. And that was about it. There was really nothing that you could do at this point in lockdown. So I went back home. I went to North Carolina. I thought I was gonna be there for like 2 weeks. I ended up being there for 2.5 months, but there was really nothing for me to do. I was just back home and literally the only thing that I could really do is just write and kind of like hang. So I ended up writing Heart Problem when I was back home, and that's kind of the story that I tell whenever I play Heart Problem out. Before I went back home, I was in my very first relationship ever, and it was not a very good first one. It was very on and off and very toxic because it was so on and off. And stepping away from that relationship now, I can absolutely see all the red flags and everything that was not okay with that relationship. But the thing is that it was my very first relationship ever, so I learned a lot. Anyway, that is a past time. I am over that point in my life. I'm much happier and living my life and thriving, okay? We're good. But in the spring of 2020, around the time that I went home, things were still so like back and forth at the time. Things actually ended for good when I first went back home. By the time that happened, I was so used to this whole like on and off thing. I just got so used to this person being gone. And by the time things ended for good, I was actually feeling kind of unfazed by it. I was like, okay. I was kind of over it. I was kind of disappointed but not surprised. And the couple days following that, I really told myself, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this time that I have to work on myself. I'm gonna write. I'm gonna get myself to become the best version of myself. I'm gonna work on myself and I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna give time to myself. I'm gonna do all these things. And that's what I did with all the time that I had in quarantine. That's what I did. And during that time, I realized my own worth and that I definitely deserved better than what I got from that relationship. And that's where Heart Problem came along. I finally let myself kind of get angry at this situation and how I was treated, and that's where this song came about. I realized my own worth. I realized I deserved better. I realized that being in that on and off thing just more often than not left me more disappointed than anything. And I was frustrated with it. I was over it at that time and I needed to express that. So I wrote Heart Problem. So I've actually got some voice memos. These voice memos that I'm about to play for you right now are from when I was actually writing the songs. For some reason, I sound really bad in these and I am kind of embarrassed to show you. I feel like I'm showing you like a personal like entry from my diary, but I think it's worth it to show you guys this. I feel like I sound sick in this for some reason. I don't know, but I'm just gonna play it anyway because whatever. Anyway, this is Bear, by the way, if you have not met him yet. He is my child and I love him very much, and he's kind of interrupting my video. Hi, I love you. That was the very first voice memo that I have of my writing process with Heart Problem. I guess I came up with the chorus first. A lot of people ask me like how I write my songs and stuff, and I like to say that I'm a very melodic writer, so I'm pretty sure I had the chords first, or like that little picking pattern, and then I guess I had the hook in mind. I had Heart Problem as like a title in mind. I came up with that as the chorus, and I kind of had that melody, and then usually lyrics are kind of a fill in the blank sort of thing for me. As you could hear from this very first voice memo, I was kind of just figuring it out. And I sound awful in it, and I wish I didn't sound so bad, but you know, we're just gonna be nice to ourselves, okay? So as you can see, I am kind of just mumbling my way through this chorus. I had it on the tip of my tongue that that's what I wanted to say. You've got a heart problem because you can't do this relationship right, basically. Like, I was told that this person would do better and fix things, and he never did. Yeah, not a good time.
You were sweet to me, and that's all that mattered, right?
I'm like trying to figure it out. I could not. The phrasing in this song is very like interesting. I don't really know how I ended up fixing it all, but I am very detail oriented. I'm a very detail oriented person, and so I have no problem like going back and tweaking things until like literally I have beaten myself numb. I really enjoyed writing this song because there's so many little phrasing, cadence sort of things that I fit into the song somehow, and a lot of people have complimented me on that, and so I'm trying to take that in and be like, good job, Caroline. Yeah, so at this point I had really figured out the verse and the chorus, and usually when I have those things lined up, I would say that I've got a good structure of what I want the song to be. I think I do a lot of tweaking without really realizing it. I always like to beat myself out with whatever I create and see what I can do better. Now I need to work on the bridge. So this is the voice memo that I took when I was coming up with this bridge.
Gave you my all and you didn't. I've been out of my life like a convenience for you. Like a convenience for you.
I was trying so hard to fit this line in. I thought it was an important thing to say. Like, you can't just pop in and out of my life like it's a convenience for you. I'm not just gonna be waiting around. It's not a fair thing to do. That's what happens so often in this thing. And it just really messed with me emotionally because I felt like I couldn't hold on to this person. I was very unsure. I wanted to express that because usually for me with bridges usually say something that hasn't been said yet in the song but needs to be said. I don't put bridges in every single one of my songs or anything. Honestly, sometimes I don't even really like writing bridges. I don't think a lot of songwriters like writing bridges at all. But I felt like this song really needed a bridge or like something to change it up, and so I wanted to say this person's doing all these things and it's not fair. I don't deserve that. This whole song is just basically me saying I didn't deserve that.
So I gave you more, 'cause I gave you my all and you didn't. I gave you my all and you didn't. I gave you my all and you didn't.
And that was me kind of fixing up that last part of the bridge, just the whole I gave you my all and you didn't. I forgot to mention, I was listening to a lot of music at the time because also another thing that I did during quarantine was listen to a lot of music because I had nothing else to do. One of the songs that stood out to me that I was listening to at the time was a song by Ariana Grande. I think it's called like Break Up With Your Girlfriend Or no, it's Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored. That one, I feel like kind of inspired the type of vibe of Heart Problem. Just kind of like that empowering, like feminine energy. I also have a playlist on Spotify called like Heart Problem Inspo. It's just a little playlist of a couple songs that I sent to my producer for production reference. So if you want to take a listen to any of those songs, feel free, because those types of songs kind of inspired what the production came out to be. But yeah, those were all my voice memos from making Heart Problem. Alright, so now I'm gonna get into the production of things a little bit, and I'm very excited. I had the song written. Later on, like a couple months later, I was ready to record again. What I did was I sent a batch of songs that I had written over the past year or so to my producer Nick Wheeler, who is absolutely amazing, and I have been working with him for like 2 or 3 years, and I've loved everything that we've created together. Like literally everything over the past like 3 years that I've put out, he's worked on, and I'm just constantly in awe of like how he can bring like whatever vision I have to life. Anyway, I wrote like a big batch of songs and I narrowed it down to 4. So I recorded Heart Problem, Bad Again, Forget About Me, and Where I Used to Be, which is the next single that I'm putting out at the time that I'm recording this. So those 4 songs I recorded at the same time with Nick, and I had those already written. Heart Problem was the second song that I ended up releasing from that batch of 4 songs. Bad Again being the first, Heart Problem, Forget About Me, and then Where I Used to Be is about to come out too. So maybe by the time you're watching this, it might be out. September 15th. So I've got this one voice memo. I don't really know exactly what's in it, but it's a long one. So I'll try to see what good parts we've got.
Let's lean into it and let's try this weird VHS thing. If it works, cool. If not, whatever.
We were trying to come up with something like at the very beginning that would like bring a little bit of attention, so we played around with like the pitch of the guitar. I played the acoustic on this song. I got to play guitar on Heart Problem. It was my picking progression. My picking pattern, that's what it's called. It was my picking pattern, so Nick let me play the picking pattern on the actual recording. So that acoustic guitar that you hear throughout the song and in the beginning and everything, that is me playing. So we played with some pitching stuff with that guitar and it just didn't sound right. So we messed around with some static. And in the actual recording, there is a little bit of a static effect in the very beginning that goes along with the guitar. Actually, the reason why we did that was because there was a buzz, like a little slight buzz in my acoustic that we couldn't really get to fix. So we covered it up with a little bit more static and tried to make it seem intentional. And nobody has pointed it out. So we got away with it.
Have you heard Heavy Dirty Soul by 20? You should listen to the intro of that.
I was also taking some 21 Pilots inspo here. When it came to the intro, I was thinking about the intro for Heavy Dirty Soul. There's a little bit of staticky sort of, I don't really know exactly what it is. So we got some static. This song actually had a lot of like trap style beats to it, which is kind of what I thought I wanted, but by the time the whole thing came together, I kind of realized that I didn't want all these like trap sounding beats in it, like hi-hat sort of stuff, and it actually took a while to get the drum pattern right. And it just started to sound a little bit too trappy, and I was starting to feel a little bit bothered by it.
I think the intention of this bass is correct. I just think it needs to have a little more character to it. Right now it's just like a pitched 808 just going boom.
Yeah. We also had a very hard time figuring out the bass for this song. It took a while for us to come up with like the right bass pattern and like the notes and stuff, because some stuff that was going on just didn't sound right. And we used like a big like 808 synth bass that was really heavy. And we were putting it kind of all throughout the song, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it made the song sound very dark, a lot darker than I wanted it to be, and I could not put my finger on it. I was like, for some reason it just sounds so like ominous. I don't know what's making it sound like that, and it took forever for me to realize that this bass didn't need to be in the verses. It didn't need to be in the pre-chorus either. It could just come in at the first chorus. We also borrowed some sort of like percussion thing from my song You Decide.
Borrowed this from You Decide.
Ah! It's like a swoosh sort of sound. The track sounded a little bit empty. This bass was so heavy it was drowning it out, and we didn't have a lighter component to even it out. That's why it sounded so ominous and so heavy and dark, because there was no lighter component. I could not put my finger on that until kind of like the very end of this process, and I was trying to express that to Nick, but we just like could not figure anything out for some reason. Like it was just a whole ordeal trying to get this right. For a little while, because I couldn't figure it out, I was honestly a little bit nervous about getting the song done in time, and also just about putting it out, because if I had put it out the way that it was, I don't think I would have been like 100% happy with it. So that is when I talked to my boyfriend Gabe about this track. He is a musician, he plays electric guitar for other bands, for me now. He writes, he does like a little bit of everything. He knows about production. He's amazing. He just knows everything. So I took this rough mix to him, and I kind of expressed what I felt like when I was hearing this mix. And I was just thinking over and over that like I feel like something's missing. I thought to myself, I think I need some lighter tone like electric guitar. And so I asked Gabe if he wanted to kind of play around with the mix that I had and try to come up with a few different like guitar parts that would complement this heavier bass. And he did, and it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed. And then Gabe's got a home studio, and so I hung out over there at his house, and he also helped out with getting that drum pattern kind of lined up and fixed. We sent those over to Nick, and then Nick was able to work with those. Nick also found an actual heart rate monitor sample online, and he put it in the song, in the bridge.
I sampled a heart monitor and put it in here. It might be a little on the nose, but it does this thing near the end of the bridge that I really love.
Actually, yeah.
Some other really cool instrumentation that I will get into right now. Here's some bass. See, this bass is very like heavy, ominous. It's scary. It reminds me of Jaws, literally, by itself. I did my own background vocals. I absolutely love doing harmonies, and it's one of my favorite things ever.
I can't wait to see what your backing vocals does to this.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one a lot.
All of your lead stuff is fantastic. It's all coming out so good.
Thanks.
I'm really loving it.
Yay. What's wrong? You should get it checked out. You should get it checked out. I think you got a heart problem. You say you'll be better, but you don't step up. Every time you love me, it's never enough. You should get it checked out. You should get it checked out.
Yeah, I think what's really neat about the way you've written these songs, there's so much cool space for like vocal delays and like reverb throws and stuff.
Out of my chances, I can't give you any more. It's not fair to me. I gave you my all and you didn't. I gave you my all and you didn't. I gave you my all and you didn't. I think you got a heart problem. Better, but you still mess up.
Anybody that's heard this stuff always tells me how awesome your vocal is, how great it sounds.
Yay. I'm glad.
Yeah, the performance, like your voice and like just the like production of it, I really want to lean into that because people really seem to be connecting to it.
That is my favorite part of the song. The fact that that's an organ absolutely blows my mind. That is one of my favorite parts of like this whole process. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's an organ, but there's a bunch of effects on it. It is just the coolest thing ever. I finally got it to where I wanted to, so I've got to thank Nick Wheeler, Chase Bader, and Gabe Berdulis for working with me on Heart Problem. I absolutely am just so thankful to have these people in my life.
Hi, I'm editing this, but I also forgot to mention that once Nick and I were done tracking and like I did my part, he did his part, we sent it off to get mixed for the final time by Mills Logan. So he's another person that I want to thank because he did the final mix for the song. And then it got sent off to Sterling Sound, and Adam Grover over there mastered it. So those are two very, very important people who have also been a part of this process that I really want to mention and thank. So thank you, Mills Logan and Adam Grover, for being a part of this. Okay, I'm done now.
I love this production. I think it's exactly where I want to go. With my music moving forward, I think it's kind of turning me in the right direction that I want to go. And I really hope you guys enjoyed me talking about this song, going into depth. I really appreciate you guys streaming my music. Thank you for streaming Heart Problem. It is available everywhere digitally, wherever you buy or stream your music. So go check it out. Yeah, once again, I'm just so thankful to have this song in my life, and I think it's helped me grow as a person. And looking back on that time in my life when I was writing it, I feel like a completely different person, but so much stronger than I was. Thank you guys so much again for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.